Let us now study other modes of polarization. The other mode of polarization is polarization by refraction. So just now we have seen that when we polarize light, okay, in a material, part of it gets reflected and a part gets refracted. The portion which is reflected is highly polarized, okay, and the portion which is refracted is partially polarized. So what we do over here, through series of refraction, suppose this light which comes out is allowed to fall on another plate like this. So again reflection occurs and then refraction. All right, so finally it comes out. So if it is allowed to fall again on another plate like this, so through series of reflection and refraction, what happens, the refracted ray which ultimately comes out is completely polarized. So if you use a pile of plates, okay, say some 20 pile of plates, okay, so if you use a pile of plates, then you can subsequently polarize your light at the end, okay, when it comes out of the plate, okay, it is nearly polarized. So around 15 to 20 plates supported in a tube of suitable size and inclined at an angle of about say 33 degrees to the axis of the tube will polarize the light completely parallel to the plane of incidence. Okay, so this is another mode of polarization by refraction. Well, the next mode is polarization by scattering. This is the second one. Third one is polarization by scattering. Okay, so what do we do over here? So if a narrow beam of natural light is incident on a transparent medium containing a suspension of ultra microscopic particles, the light is scattered. While it is scattered, it is observed that a scattered light is partially polarized. The scattered light is partially polarized. Okay, so the degree of polarization depends on the angle of scattering. The beam which is scattered at 90 degrees with respect to the incident direction is plane polarized, and the direction of the vibration of the E vector in the scattered light will be perpendicular to the plane defined by the direction of propagation and the direction of observation. So the sunlight which falls on earth, okay, and is scattered by the air molecules, okay, so you will see that light is partially polarized. This effect is observed in maximum on a clear day when the sun is near the horizon. The light reaching an observer on the ground from directly overhead is polarized to around 70 to 80%. Okay, that means during the midday you will see it is maximum polarized. So this is one mode of polarization. The last mode of polarization is polarization okay, I'm writing it Z, by selective absorption. Polarization by selective absorption. Alright, so if we do polarization by selective absorption, what do we mean by that? Now this idea was discovered by Biot in the year 1815. 1815, Biot. Okay, certain mineral crystals which are anisotropic absorb light selectively depending on its direction of vibration. That tourmaline is one such. Okay, so selectively light is absorbed by certain mineral crystals which are anisotropic. Now when the natural light passes through the crystal, it is split into two components which are polarized in mutually perpendicular direction. So, mutually perpendicular planes, alright. So the crystals strongly absorb light that is polarized in a direction parallel to a particular plane in the crystal, but freely transmit the light polarized in the perpendicular direction. Okay, so therefore this difference in absorption, that means the two components of light, you will see subsequently what are those two components. One of it is absorbed and the other is passed. That is exactly what is happening in a tourmaline crystal. What do we see? In the optic axis is such that the light parallel to the optic axis, the electric vector parallel to the optic axis passes. Others don't. What happens to the other component of the electric vector? They are absorbed. So this is selective absorption. So this method of selective absorption, okay, is called dichroism. We call this dichroism. Okay. So if the crystal is of proper thickness, one of the component is totally absorbed, the other component emerging from the crystal is linearly polarized. Okay. So example of a dichroic crystal is, as I told you just now, tourmaline. Okay, the tourmaline crystal. Okay, what does it contain? Alumino-borosilicate. Okay, what is that? Al2O3, B2O3 and SiO2. Al2O3, B2O3 and SiO2. These are the things. So, the selective absorption through a tourmaline crystal brings out the light from the tourmaline crystal, which is greenish in color. You will see that the light is greenish in color. There is another kind of a crystal through which selective absorption takes place. Okay, we call that crystal. It was actually discovered by the scientist Hedappath, W.B. Hedappath. Okay. Well, he discovered this synthetic dichroic crystal, quinine sulfate periodide, which is called, the name of the crystal is Herapathite. Okay, the crystal transmits linearly polarized light of all colors. However, it cannot be grown to sufficiently larger size. Okay, so like that several crystals can be made and Polaroids are made in this manner. So Polaroids are actually made by in such a manner so that selective absorption of light takes place, and you know the importance of Polaroids, isn't it? So therefore with this discussion, what emerges now is the concept of what do we mean by these two components of light. Okay, so what is it basically we are doing over here? We are doing polarization by double refraction. Okay, so here it was actually discovered by Bartholinus, polarization by double reflection. All right. So basically that is what is happening over here, and this we will study in our next video because this is very important.